on with Financial Literacy First. And welcome, we're having a real life experience today. We're going to the bank, Academy Bank. We're here at 9600 East Hampton Avenue in Aurora, Colorado. So come on and follow me in. We're going to do some banking transactions. So we're going to this lovely bank, Academy Bank. Like I said, we're over on Hampton in Aurora, and we're getting ready to do these transactions. So we're going to start first by doing a checking transaction. So most of you have already seen the videos on how to make out a deposit slip. You've seen a mock paycheck. Everybody should have had a mock paycheck by now, or something similar to that. Anyway, I am going to show you again how a deposit ticket goes and an actual check. So first off, deposit tickets look a little different. Just kind of depends if you're coming from a checkbook, or this one is issued by the bank. So every bank, every credit union is going to have a deposit ticket for you to fill out. It needs to say on it, though, actual deposit ticket, so you know. And if you're not sure, the teller will direct you on if it's a checking deposit ticket or a savings deposit ticket. So first thing you need to do, even if it's a pre-printed one, is definitely to put the date, which is today. So today we're doing July 10th, 2020. And if it's already pre-printed, it will have your banking information here, your name or your business company or your business name. So this is going into a business account, so it has the business name here. And down at the bottom, you have several boxes. That's where your bank account information goes. Now again, if you have a pre-printed deposit slip, it's already in there for you, which is great. So now let's get to the check so we know how to fill this part out. So this is the actual check. Yay, $7.41. I'll try not to spend it all at one time, but it's going to be hard. All right, so because you've already been through the actual what a paycheck looks like and everything, you know down at the bottom you have the routing number and you also have your account number, but it goes, the account number and the routing number goes to the bank that this check is issued on. Then you should have your name, address, or maybe it's just your name. Either way. You should have a signature, or otherwise you can't cash the check or deposit it. So there's always got to be a signature. There's always the amount up here, and there should be a date and a check number. Anyway, so we all got this? I hope so. So now we want to fill out the deposit slip. Now, as I mentioned, this check is $7.41. So first of all, let's get a pen. At the top of the deposit slip, it says cash. This is not cash. All right, so I was talking about the deposit ticket, right? So the first line says cash. This is a check, it's not cash. So we're not going to fill that top line in. But because this is a check, all these lines here, we can fill in. That is per check. I only have one though. So let me put in line 1. Now, as I said, this is $7.41. So on that line is going to go $7.41. So just a minute. So there we go with that. Now, because I only have one check, I'm going to take this down, but I don't. If I had other checks, I'd be writing them there and adding it all up. This line here says subtotal. Subtotal. So that's adding everything up. I don't have anything else, so that line should be $7.41. Then you have something that's called less cash back. If I was writing this to look to take money out from the check I'm depositing, then I would subtract out what money I would want the teller to give me back. But we're not doing that. So we're going to deposit the whole check. So what that means is the very last line is going to have the total. So I'm not getting any cash back. There's no other checks to add. I'm getting the whole amount deposited. So now I need to give the deposit slip to our lovely teller. But what about the check? Oh, I got to endorse the check. Remember we talked about endorsing? That means on the back of the check, you're going to write your signature based on the front of the check where your name is. This is almost like a doctor's signature. I know you can't read it. And then what I always do too is put the account number next to my name, okay, to make sure that they get the right account. So now I've endorsed the check, plus I've already added the account number, so the teller's going to know for deposit only. And you can put deposit only. One of our great teachers who was a banker for 40 years, that's all he does, is put for deposit only and the signature. Either way, as long as you're in front of the teller, definitely no problem. So, here we go. I'm going to give the teller the check. And what else I'm going to give her? The deposit slip. Here you go.
All right, so we're just depositing this today?
Yes, ma'am. Now what the teller is doing is she's looking up the account based on the deposit slip. Now she's looking at the check and she's entering the $7.41 and making sure it all looks legitimate and checking the back to make sure it's endorsed. Okay, now she's got to give me a receipt. How am I going to know for sure she got the account number right and she got the deposit right? So in the banking, you hear the little machine going. Well, what is this, Jody?
That's that receipt for you.
Oh, great. So on the receipt, you see it has the information of the bank, Academy Bank, great bank, and it has just the last 4 digits of the account that I just deposited, and this is for security reasons. And then at the bottom, it has how much? $7.41. Isn't that what the check was for? Yes, it was. So now I know that our lovely teller, Jody, did an excellent job. She put it in the right account for the right amount. Should you hold on to this? I always do for a day or two until I get to my online banking and make sure everything was correct. Okay? Do you have to? You don't have to, but it's a good thing to do just to make sure it shows up in your bank account and there's no problem. On occasion, we all make mistakes. What if Jody instead made this deposit for $741 instead of $7.41? I would have loved the $741, but that would have been a huge mistake. And if I turned around and saw it on this or in my bank account, we'd have some banking issues. We don't want banking issues. All right, now we're going to go to our next transaction. Our next transaction is going to be a savings deposit. So we know about checking. We know that's where basically you're paying your bills, you're depositing your paycheck, all that good stuff. But you should also be saving. One thing that Financial Literacy First really stresses is saving, in particular for emergencies. We all have them. We never know when, but they are going to happen in life. So you should be saving 3 to 6 months of your basic expenses every month in a separate account. Now, whether you save it through a savings account or a money market really doesn't matter. It definitely, though, needs to be where you can get to the funds rather quickly. So today, you'll see that Academy Bank, their deposit slips for saving says savings deposit, right? And it has this little pink highlight at the top to make it look different than a checking deposit form. Now, you don't have pre-printed savings deposit slips, so you always have to find them at the bank. And it's the same thing almost. You put today's date, you would put the name of the company or your name that is the account that you're depositing it into. You're going to have also, just like before, the first line is going to say cash. You're going to have a couple of lines if you're writing checks. You're still going to have a subtotal and a total at the bottom. And less cash received for some reason if you need it. So you're putting the bank account information at the very bottom of the account that you're depositing into. So in this particular case, I have G&G Enterprises. It's a company account. And at the bottom, I have G&G Enterprises savings account number. Now remember, this is different than a checking account number. All right? And let's see how much money I've got. What is this? $20 bill. What is this? A $1 bill. What is this? Another $1 bill. Did you catch on? $22. Don't have any change today. But we're going to deposit $22 into the savings account. Can you deposit a check? Certainly. Can you deposit cash? Certainly. All right, but we're depositing cash today. So now, remember on the other deposit slip, we just list the check? Well, this time we have cash. So where do you think I should list the cash to make sure the deposit gets applied correctly? Ooh, you got it. Yep, first line. So how much money did we say we had? $22. Okay. So I'm going to put $22, and how much change do I have? None. So I'm going to put 0, 0, and top line says cash, so it has $22, 0, 0. Now I have nothing else to add. I don't have any checks to add. I don't have anything. So where should we go? Subtotal. The subtotal account, or the line, has what? The same $22, right? Because we're not adding. Now, we're not having any cash back, so we don't have to worry about that, but we still have to bring that total down. So, the final line should say $22. I knew you could get it. Okay. So, now, this deposit ticket is what? I can't hear you. Oh yeah, savings deposit. And this is what? Our cash. The $1 are sticking to another. Yeah. Our cash deposit. So this is $22. It's written up there. Subtotal, final total, and the deposit slip is figured out and done for a savings deposit. Where it's going, the bank account name, and at the very bottom, the savings account number. Remember, different than checking. And of course, whatever today's date is. So now, our lovely assistant teller, Jody, is going to make this deposit for us. Here we go.
All right. 21, 2. All right.
The teller should always count cash or look at your checks if you're depositing anything, whether it's checking or savings. Why? Because she wants to keep her job. And she's a great teller, so that means she's going to make sure that everything is accurate. Uh-oh, where'd she go? What is she doing? Now, she's depositing cash into the cash drawer behind the counter. Why is she doing that? Well, she's got to put cash one place, and she's got to put depositing checks another place. Keeps it very organized and makes sure at the end of the day, based on what she has going on in the computers, everything adds up perfectly. So Jody, what are you doing now?
I'm printing your receipt for this deposit.
Great. Now listen, she's got a machine going. Go ahead, let her rip. Isn't automation wonderful? Now, what is this, Jody?
There's the receipt for that savings deposit.
Excellent. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Now remember, we have one for checking. Now we have one for savings. Did you hear the machine again? Why do you think you heard the machine again? Because she's got to account for that cash behind the counter. So there's other documents she has to print off and put aside to acknowledge that the bank took in cash. Now, just like the checking deposit slip from Academy Bank, it's the same thing. We want to make sure, first of all, those last couple of digits match up to the account that we had at the bottom of the savings deposit form. Does it? Ooh, yes it does. Then we want to make sure she got the amount right. It says $22.00, no change. Did she get it right? Yeah, she sure did. All right, and once again, should you hold on to this? You should for a day or two, just to make sure you check your online banking account and make sure she deposited $22 and not 22 cents. Okay, we have one last transaction for today. It is a paycheck. So this paycheck has my name on it, okay? And this has where it's coming from, the company. Now, if it's pre-printed, this one isn't. This one's issued by the bank, it's not pre-printed. But it would have the company name and the address at the top. This right here, again, has the date. It has who it's payable to. It has the amount. It has the amount spelled out. And it is signed. So we know it's a legal tender or a legal document. And then at the bottom, we have the routing number and the account number. Remember, what does the routing number say? It's associated with the bank that the funds are drawn on. So this particular routing number is only for Academy Bank. Okay? This account goes to this BFMS Inc. That's the account number. The name is written out. The amount you will see, if it's $50, you need to spell it out or it's spelled out for you. Sometimes it's printed in. It doesn't matter, just as long as the amount and then the amount spelled out. Okay? And remember, it's no good without a signature. So now, I'm going to hand this to the teller, and I'm going to say, hey, I want to cash this. Let's see if I can cash this. Okay?
All right, so we're just cashing this check today?
Yes.
And do you have your ID with you?
Why is she asking for ID? Why are you asking for my ID?
We need your ID to make sure that you are who this check is made payable to, and you're not trying to cash someone else's.
Okay, thank goodness I have my ID. Here you go. So ID can be a state-issued identification card. Mine is my driver's license. You can also use your passport. And I believe, is military ID allowed?
Yes, we do accept those.
There you have it. So we want to make sure there's no fraud or theft going on. I didn't steal this check or anything. So now she's going to cash my paycheck.
All right, any special way you need the cash back?
Isn't that nice? Instead of just giving me whatever cash she wants to give me, she's going to ask how I want it back. All tellers really should. The reason? You may have a preference. I may want just a $50 bill, but I don't. Jody, can you give me, oh, I don't know, 2 20s and the rest in singles?
Absolutely.
So now what does Jody do? Jody's putting in the computer what I asked for in terms of cashing the check. So she has to go to that bank account, BFMS Inc., enter that I'm cashing a check and I'm making a withdrawal. That means I'm taking money out of that account, and how much? $50. I know, I could hear you, but I wasn't sure I heard you. Taking $50 out. And remember, she asked me, how do I want the money back? I said, 2 20s and a bunch of 10s. That's fine. Now, she's got to record what she's giving me.
Okay, I have 20, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which makes 50.
Why, thank you so much.
Would you like this in an envelope?
Yes, I would. Why does she ask that? Sometimes you don't want everybody to see your money. Sometimes you're just taking the money and going to another bank or go pay a bill or something, leave it in the envelope. You put it in your wallet, next thing you know, you're going shopping. Be careful.
All right, and then I also need an endorsement on the back of this.
An endorsement?
Yes, ma'am.
What's an endorsement? What's an endorsement?
It's your signature saying that you are cashing the check at this time.
Remember the other check? Same thing. So, this check is made payable to me. So should I put Jody's name on the back or mine? I think I'll put mine. And it's always your signature. You don't print it, it's your signature. My signature. Now we can finish this transaction. Isn't that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-oh, here we hear that machine again. Now she's processing the check.
All right, so I have $50 and your ID back for you.
Terrific. Well, thank you so much. So she gets my ID back, just like she said, and the envelope full of bills, which is $50. All right, so today we've done depositing a check, depositing money into a savings account, and cashing a check. So hopefully you got all that, you get to see it. This truly is real life, okay? This is not simulated. Those are real checks, real bills, real deposit slips, the whole bit. I'm Carla Vaughn with Financial Literacy First at Academy Bank over on Hampton in Aurora. And I want to thank you for joining today's financial moment as it relates to banking operations. If you have any questions, definitely contact financialliteracyfirst.org or give us a call, 720-862-6530, or contact the school that is showing this video and they will get in contact with us. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.